Hello there folks, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, a place where I discuss different topics like spirituality, introspection, dream analysis from time to time, and well, game analysis amongst others. And this video is part again of the Wisdom Shorts, a set of videos that I want to present some aspects of life in as short as possible without presenting too many things and filling people's minds, the way I used to do up till, well, not long ago. And this video is about the topic of attachments and specifically attachment to the physical world and, of course, death and why people would cry. Now, the point is, why would someone cry about things they would lose when they die? Now, this is basically kind of an illusion because if you go deep down inside, you will see that no one cries for anything physical. Okay, the only thing they will cry is because they have created in their mind certain thought forms, okay, certain disappointments, certain expectations in their life that they haven't fulfilled because of different, you know, not knowing themselves well enough. They simply disallowed themselves from pursuing whatever plans they had in their lives. So they simply preferred listening to other people and doing things for other people so that they would, you know, preserve themselves close to those persons. Okay, it's part of societal neediness, something which I feel is being pushed more and more on children because they are the most vulnerable part of society. Okay, it's part of complacency, and complacency is a strong indicator that the person doesn't know themselves. And if you don't know yourself in this world, well, you're probably gonna fall very easily for other people's thoughts and ideas. That is one reason why many people feel bad when people talk badly of them because they don't know themselves and their only opinion about themselves is what others consequently say and think about them. Okay, so attachments to the physical, first of all, are irrelevant. Now, I'm gonna tell this strictly and specifically forwards and bluntly as I usually do, mainly because attachments to the physical world are never important. Okay, everything that is physical has its own existence, and same is our physical body, the vessel that we embody since our birth. Now, the point with this is. Everything that is physical, we also leave behind in this world because we will never get to take with us. Okay, so many people attach themselves to other things because they haven't found people in their life to simply show them the emotional affection that they need. So many people will simply find some sort of comfort, okay, in all sorts of lies. Okay, if they have that thing, their life will be better. If they have this thing, their life will be better, and so on and so forth, with all sorts of lies that simply will have people be put off a bit. Okay, they will think that, hey, if that will make my life better, they will acquire it, they will work, even self-destructively, and then, well, they will realize that their life is still the same. And the only reason they are suffering is because they are not doing the right thing towards self improvement, towards finding out what the real problem is. Because the fact that some people suffer is only because they are creating that suffering themselves within themselves. So, the point about attachment to the physical is ask yourself a little question: why am I so attached to something physical? Because the moment you will leave this world, and most likely far before that moment, you'll most likely realize that that thing doesn't serve you necessarily. You will like it, you will use it for a while, and well, you have to realize that basically everything that you have in this physical world is nothing else than a tool. That also includes the people around you, but it's preferable not to use them as tools, but realize that they are basically tools to your own reality. This goes much deeper than the mind can understand, so don't try to take this logically because you will end up a bit confused. So, if everything is just a tool for you to experience life, okay, for example, your friends are a tool to feel much better, okay, be it that they are distractions in disguise or they are, genuine friends. They are basically a tool that allow you to feel certain emotions, and usually you will feel those emotions even better. If you don't know yourself, then you definitely have a lack of patience and you will not feel well in your own skin. So that's why you will need friends even more. But when you need, you are in a state of neediness, which means you don't have enough attention. Okay? And well, in the case of people who know themselves, they don't necessarily need people because they realize that their introversion, introspection, being introverts, and their introspection, and also the aspect of, procrastinating gives them a sense of depth because they will never rush to take decisions and they will usually think twice or several times before certain decisions and actions that they will take in their life, because this way they can perceive the depths of each and every aspect. So the physical realm, is only based on survival. The mind is a tool, again, which has the purpose of, acquiring any knowledge that would keep the physical body alive. That's why I've been saying in previous videos that the mind is also represented by the three lower chakras, the three chakras of the physical body, and the three chakras that present survival. Individual survival, Muladhara, societal survival, Swadhisthana, and also survival of the self, which is the Manipura. So physical and physicality mean nothing else than a boundary, a physical boundary, because two bodies cannot overlap one another like they would do, for example, in video games, and they are definitely separate entities. And everything, every body, every physical body that you have, everything is basically a tool that you interact with only in this physical world, and attachments might occur and will definitely occur if you don't know yourself because you're leaning your power and you're placing your trust into certain things and certain tools that we are free to use in this world, instead of realizing that instead of just using one single tool forever, you can always find better versions or improve the ones that you currently have, which of course this shouldn't include changing people because we are not here to change people. So the point of physicality is that all physical things also find their own death, they also find their own end. So the problem is people who don't know themselves most likely haven't realized much about themselves, and most likely they haven't realized anything about their mortality. And people who simply haven't realized that they are mortal, they will start fearing death from a certain moment when they realize that people around them are actually dying. And these people will actually end up causing a lot of harm to others, mainly because, all the things they wish they could have done are no longer possible. And they will usually start having grudges against youngsters because youngsters have all their life ahead. Surely this is theoretical because nowadays people die at so young ages, and of course all the misleading that society has and all the, awkward and sick aspects of society can easily put people on the wrong paths in life. But the point about physical, there needs to be no attachment towards the physical because the physical is just temporary. It simply will end at a certain time and things will simply leave you at a certain time. Be it that people will leave you, be it that things will simply get out of your life, be it that you lose them somewhere or they are stolen from you, or you simply realize that you no longer need them and you kind of have this urge for an upgrade in life. These such urges of self-improvement should rarely or kind of never be ignored. So why shouldn't you create any attachment towards the physical realm, be it money, be it physicality, any sort of things? Now I'm not saying it would be bad to live in in riches, but it would be preferable to live in those riches, not let yourself live unconsciously, and constantly pursue for more, because if you're not living life, what's the purpose of having anything? So surrounding yourself with things that you really need is a process that you should pursue consciously. And when you pursue things consciously, you simply can no longer attach yourself to those, because when you do things consciously, you are aware that you will be making use of those things only temporarily. So the point is, people cry when others die around them because they no longer have either the validation or, I don't know, the presence of that person. So if someone cries after someone else, they simply had a very small, perception of that person, okay? Because they're crying because they no longer have that physical, okay? But that is of no importance and should be of no importance, because you should know that at any given moment, any person, close or enemy to you, they can simply go poof. One moment they are here, one moment they are no longer. And spiritism and the such never work. They are, well, a funny way of seeing things. There is a way of doing spiritism in a real sense, but if you don't do it accordingly, it can actually cost your entire existence. But I'm not gonna dive into the undead and their realm because I don't have much knowledge over it. So people cry about physicality mostly because they have been attached to the physical. They have been attached to the body, and more importantly, they have attached themselves towards the emotion. Okay, so the people that they have around, they have an attachment towards the emotion that those people give them. Like in a sadomasochistic relation, for example, every one of the two, or at least two persons, simply is attached to the emotion that they get from that relationship. They don't care who causes them the pain or who allows them to cause pain on them. It's only important that they are allowed to do that, okay? So if someone else comes in their life and does that job in a much better way, the previous person can easily be ditched. But usually through egotism, they won't necessarily be ditched, because the more the better. So, attaching yourself emotionally to the physical is just a reaction, and a reaction is usually nothing else than something unconscious. You cannot react consciously, you only act consciously. So the point is, when you act consciously, you do not need to attach emotions. Say, for example, you have someone who is suffering. Like, for example, my mother is suffering because of her disease. Okay, she's been suffering from multiple sclerosis for around 25 years. So the question is, if I would suffer, for that, would it change reality? No. If I would be glad of her suffering, would it change reality? No. Of course, there is this flow of distraction that people, call the law of attraction, but I call it the flow of distraction. The point about this is it's not going to change anything, it's just going to turn you into a nutcase. Why? Because when you experience reality in any other way than you should, well, technically you are a nutcase. The only problem, and one of the big problems society has, is that throughout time there have been great efforts made to turn that which is sick into that which apparently is normal. So, all this being said, there needs to be no attachment to the physical, mainly because you will not take anything physical with you after you die. And nothing that is physical in this world do we have it, okay? We don't own anything. Ownership is only a collective agreement, okay? Because it's just a part of the theater play we're all playing. When you say you claim something, you're just a nutcase pretending to have ownership over something that you don't have any ownership. You don't even own your body. It is just something that this world gives us. It is a tool that allows us to experience this world through the prism of, or through the prison of, depending on how people end up being capable of using it. But the point also is, hey, okay, if you don't believe it, well, it's okay, but the point about this is even your body is not yours, okay? But we have created all sorts of meaning and all sorts of ways in which we trick ourselves even more into believing that we have ownership towards certain things, and people even end up claiming they have ownership even towards their children, okay? Because it is this hideous mindset that if I created a child, I have full ownership. No, you have full responsibility. When you have full ownership, that is unconscious living, because you allow your circumstances and you allow your past traumas to dictate what your present actions should be, okay, and what your present decisions should be made like, okay. When you have full responsibility, or at least a great sense of responsibility towards people around you, that's when you actually live life, and you don't let most circumstances decide in your place, okay. So even if, and considering that not even your body is yours, okay, it is yours in a way, but up till a certain moment, because nature will claim it back, and that's why people will also die. You have to understand that basically in our life we are nothing else than stars burning through the karma that allows this body to exist. You can create more karma, you can dissipate it, that is to each and everyone, okay. But the point is very simple. Each and every one of us will die, and nothing physical from this world will be taken with us, okay? Which proves clearly that nothing in this world we own, okay? Nothing physical we will take. Your karma after you die, that is the only thing that you take, because that is the only thing that represents you. So all this being said, hopefully you like the type of wisdom shorts videos that I'm creating. I know this one was a bit longer, or it felt a bit longer because I spoke a bit more, but take care of yourselves, have a happy new year, stay awesome, Ferenc Board signing out.